We've spent the last month and a half going division by division, looking at every single team heading into the new baseball season. But you know what? We don't have to do that anymore. We can get overarching because opening day, it has arrived. Thursday this week, very exciting with Steve Buchanan, Garion Thorne. I am Adam Kaufman. And guys, let's start here. Daily fantasy, of course, that's what a lot of people are going to be caring about. And we have an MLB $500,000 contest available, season opener contest in the lobby, $150K going to first place. So just looking specifically at the opener, Bukes, a pitching option that stands out to you.
You know, there's so many big names on this slate that it's so easy to overlook Kenta Maeda. He was so good last year. He posted a career high in K percentage, 32.3%. Swing and miss rate was at 17.2%, another career high. Now he's facing a Brewers team that was one of the most generous teams in the entire league when it came to strikeouts against righties, 27.2%. Now, to their credit, they do have somebody leading off, Colton Wong, who is not going to be striking out a lot. He had one of the lowest K percentages in the leadoff spot, 14.4%. But after that, it is just a smorgasbord of people that you can strike out. Kenta Maeda is going to be a great play on opening day, and I think he's going to easily go overlooked because you look at the top of all the pitchers available, there is a lot of studs, as you'd expect, on opening day.
So that in mind, Garion, are you drawn to one of the studs?
I mean, I'm drawn to a stud. I don't know if he's one of the studs. That's kind of one of the weird things with the opening day slate. And I think the thing that I'm really kind of attracted to with Tyler Glasnow is he's under 9K. I think this might be the only time this season Tyler Glasnow is going to be less than $9,000. We're talking about someone who had a 37% strikeout rate last season, and he's 8,800 against the Marlins. I know we tend to be a pro Marlins sort of like conglomerative of people.
We do.
But the projection systems don't exactly love the Marlins this year. Fangraphs has them scoring the second fewest runs per game of any team in baseball. Generally speaking with Glasnow, he's got reverse splits. He's had them the last two seasons. So I usually don't mind it when the team he's facing has a lot of left-handed power. Not the case with the Marlins. They are a very right-handed heavy team aside from Corey Dickerson at the top of their lineup. But it doesn't matter. This is a great matchup for a pitcher with unlimited potential. And again, he's less than $9,000. So take advantage of the savings while you can with Tyler Glasnow.
All right, Gary, let's stay with you. So that's an arm. How about a bat for opening day? Who do you like?
I'm going to avoid the temptation of taking a Dodger playing in Colorado, but I'm still going to take one of the big names. Fernando Tatis Jr. against not only a left-handed pitcher, but a left-handed pitcher whose name is Madison Bumgarner. Bumgarner was terrible last season, and I know some of the reports about his cutter velocity from spring training have been slightly positive, but you're really looking to like find anything to salvage that guy's career at this point. Even if he's up a tick from 83 miles per hour, he's still not sitting at 87, 88 like he was when he was Mad Bum coming out for Game 7 of the World Series. So he was awful last season. No qualified pitcher in baseball aside from Bumgarner gave up more than 10% barrels per plate appearance, and he was up at 11.1% last season. Guys square him up. And, you know, Tatis, the guy who was like 100 percentile exit velocity and 100th percentile hard hit rate last year, probably going to get a chance to barrel him up. So Tatis against the left-hander, you know, back in like 2019, it was automatic. Let's start it again in 2021.
Bukes, are you also motivated by targeting a specific pitcher?
I'm targeting a specific hitter because that's the question here. We're talking about a hitter.
Yeah, I understand that, but are you drawn to a hitter because of a specific pitcher? It kind of sounds like Gary is going after Mad Bum to a degree.
Okay, I'll give you my analysis here.
Right.
I'm with Gary, and I'm on with the Padres here. It's not Fernando Tatis Jr. because if there's a segment that I'm involved in, Tatis Jr. is always the answer. So just put that in your brain. Okay. We don't have to talk about it, but let's talk about one of his teammates in Will Myers. It was 4,700. He absolutely crushed lefties last season, and that carried over from what he did against them back in 2019. In those 2 years, 342 WOBA, 223 isolated power, 33 home runs in that span. Right-handed bats, as Garion so eloquently alluded to, continue to be a massive problem for Madison Bumgarner, especially with giving up home runs. He gave up 11 home runs last year to righties in a span of 30 innings. Like, if that is the pace that Madison Bumgarner is going to be giving up home runs into a full season this year, that is going to be a gigantic number. It might match the win total with the Pirates in this upcoming season. So that's going to be something to watch. Will Myers, 4,700. He's not someone you usually look at on a normal basis, but lefties, that was his forte over the past 2 years. Should continue on opening day.
So Garion, his answer was pretty much yes then?
Yes.
Okay, just checking. All right, Bukes, back to you. How about a value option at the plate?
You know, this is not somebody you're going to be targeting all the time, but this is somebody you definitely want to target when they're on a hot streak. And if he continues to hit like he has been in spring training, Jock Peterson at 3,400 is a steal for opening day. He should have a near everyday role with the Cubs, which is probably going to be to his detriment. But like I mentioned, he's absolutely tearing up spring training. He is tied for the lead in home runs amongst all hitters with 8 through 18 games. Now he's going to face Chad Cull, who has historically struggled against lefties. And if there's one thing you want to do with Jock Peterson is you want to ride that hot streak when it is there, because he is a home run hitting machine when he is hitting the ball well. That is happening right now. It is not going to continue all throughout the season, but when he's locked in, like he is right now, $3,400 is a measly price to pay for somebody that has an extraordinary chance of taking him deep.
Anyone else who's cheap, who's feeling good coming out of the spring for you, Garion?
Yeah, I mean, I really wanted to diversify here and talk about a different matchup, but then I saw that Tommy Pham is $3,100 on this slate. I mean, Bukes will remember this.
Oh, wow.
Last year, just every time you went into a slate, it was like, oh, Michael Brantley's way too cheap again. Why? What is going on? And maybe Tommy Pham is going to be like this year's Michael Brantley. I don't know. Yes. But one of my favorite things about spring training is just one, stupid spring training stats, and two, stupid things connected to stupid spring training stats. And we have a great one with Tommy Pham, who started the spring 0 for 17, then got his contact prescription changed and has been raking ever since. I don't know. Might be
imagine being able to see better.
Can't 30/20 vision. I assume that's how vision gets better. I don't know. I'm not an optometrist. Anyway, this is someone who, you go back to the start of 2018. He has a 397 WOBA against left-handed pitching. He's probably going to hit 4th or 5th in this lineup for the Padres on opening day, maybe 6th. I don't know how it all breaks down, but he's going to have a high leverage batting order spot in a lineup that is going to be projected to have one of the highest totals of the slate, going up against a pitcher who is now a gas can in a left on right matchup. And he's just over $3,000. It doesn't make any sense.
Who are you going to stay away from, at least for the opener?
Kyle Hendricks. This is a weird one because I think, obviously in a vacuum, Kyle Hendricks for less than $8,000 against the Pirates just seems like it checks every box. And I understand that, but I think he's going to get a little chalky just with the price you have to pay to fit some of these pitchers into your lineups, the price you'll have to pay to get some of those Dodger bats in Colorado or Tatis or the Padres stack or what have you. I think a lot of people are going to say, hey, Kyle Hendricks against the Pirates, that's a layup. I'm just going to take that. And Kyle Hendricks at 35% ownership on a 9-game slate is not something I'm really interested in, especially a slate like this where so many of the starters have such a high ceiling. I mean, you look at Hendricks, he's just not built to be a DFS stud. Great real-life pitcher, but the strikeouts aren't really there. And last season, in his 12 starts, he only exceeded 25 DraftKings points twice. So even at his highest end potential against the Pirates, who are probably the worst team in the league and the best matchup you can draw, if he brings back 23 points at 30% ownership, that's just not going to get it done in GPPs.
Who are you fading opening day, Bukes?
Yeah. Ozzie Albies is the most expensive second baseman on this slate at $5,000. Can we get that gif of Ryan Reynolds when he's like, but why? Can we put that right here? If not, it's okay. Just pretend it's right here. I don't get it. Why is he the most expensive second baseman? Now, to his credit, his best hitting came against righties last year because, quite frankly, he didn't do anything against lefties. So it wasn't a high bar to clear. But he's facing Aaron Nola, who doesn't give up really anything except ground balls, over 50% last season. He keeps the ball in the park. He very rarely loses his, pinpoint command. So why would I pay $5,000 for Ozzie Albies? I mean, is there other matchups where I would consider doing that? Of course, but not in this particular scenario. He's going up against the Phillies' best pitcher at a position that I quite frankly don't want to be paying up for at all. Garion just mentioned, you get the guys in Coors Field, all the studs taking the mound. Albies simply doesn't fit the mold here. So at 5,000, he's a fine play on most nights, but here on opening day when there's so much to pay up for, just doesn't make sense.
Opening day is upon us. Should be a fun season, boys. Look forward to it. Thanks so much.